Fear is cold. It freezes us up. Fear of performance, fear of doing something bad. What would our parents think? What do we think? Do you know where we hold our fears?
Up here.
Further south. And when we let go of our fears, we touch our soul. So the way I look at it is, my is the door to my soul.
Do not come.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. You ever notice that Kamala Harris has aged really, really poorly in the White House? That Kamala Harris is really letting the job weigh upon her. Like, this is Kamala Harris. Like, what is going on with Kamala Harris? This is a screenshot from a video that the White House just released. You see this? Trump years versus the Biden years. Like, okay, what's that? What the hell is going on down here? What is happening? Is it a prosthetic? 3 years difference? This is the original video. Oh, man. Yikes. They did Kamala dirty with this one. There's a lot of reasons why Kamala Harris would be potentially aging horribly inside the White House. One, it's a stressful job. Okay, that happens to everybody. We get it. It's a stressful job. But two, you're the most unpopular vice president in American history. Three, the reason nobody wants Joe Biden to leave office is because that means that you would even lose worse to Donald Trump, and everybody hates you even more. Joe Biden is the least popular president to be running for re-election in American history, and Kamala Harris is less popular than Joe Biden. So what does that say? So they're screwed. All right? This is the problem with hires like Kamala Harris, is they don't pay off in the end. Might look good on paper, maybe. No idea how much airbrushing or silicone or Botox was part of this photo, but we do know this, that the Biden years have worn all of us down. Even, strangely, The Daily Show. The Daily Show, you may recall, is like the hyper-partisan, hyper-left, liberal Jon Stewart now led show. Jon Stewart was the anchor or in charge of it for a long time. He went away, and they had a diversity hire and DEI, and that failed. And so now they've brought Jon Stewart back in a desperate attempt to revive comedy. And The Daily Show has not once, but twice gone pretty savage mode on Kamala Harris. So The Daily Show has seemingly taken it upon themselves to be the one comedic entity in the corporate media landscape, a Comedy Central produced show, to actually attack the Biden regime ever so slightly, if even with feather-like lightness. I guess we'll take what we can get. Here you go.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Seems like maybe it's a small issue, it's a big issue. You need to get to go, and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that
she's come so far since our first session. My name is Dahlia Rose Hibiscus, and I am Vice President Kamala Harris's Holistic Thought Advisor. What is a Holistic Thought Advisor? Well, it's holistic, yes, and I am advising. And what do we mean when we say that? It means that I am the one by whom the thoughts are being advised, from a place of advisement, and then once advised, communicated holistically.
What?
You get it. I lead the Vice President on not so much sentences as idea voyages.
you think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
It's a process I call speaking without thinking. It's not about the destination of the thought. It's about the journey and how many words you use to describe the journey.
That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Whenever the vice president gets a speech from her staff, the first thing I do is cut out all the words individually. And then I take those words to my word cave. That's where I wait to learn what order the universe wants them to be in. Words have vibrations. The feeling they give you is so much more powerful than what they mean.
We have the ability to see what can be, unburdened by what has been, and then to make the possible actually happen.
I hear the counter arguments all the time. People should be able to understand what their leaders are saying when they talk. But I prefer to leave Kamala's thoughts open to interpretation, like a work of modern art that you look at and go, I wonder what that was all about.
See the moment in time in which we exist and are present. And to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past but the future.
It really is such a career highlight to be working with someone with such an advanced mind space as the vice president. I also sell essential oils on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay, so go to the Daily Show. At least they tried. They've been banned from taking jabs at Joe Biden. Jon Stewart's first monologue back, he made fun of Joe Biden and Donald Trump, because of course you're not allowed to just make fun of Joe Biden. You might actually push someone to vote for Trump. So they made fun of that, but they cut that off real fast. Multiple reports about how the Daily Show has been pressure has been put upon it to not make fun of Biden, so they go for Kamala. These people, they're such cowards, and comedians are such cowards these days. Joe Biden is the easiest person to make fun of, the easiest president to make fun of in our lifetime. And nobody cried when every single night Donald Trump, of course, was roasted like beyond orange recognition. But these people are cowards. They won't make fun of Joe Biden, which is the easiest president in American history to pantomime and to mock and to ridicule. I guess we'll take it. With Kamala Harris. That was funny. That was pretty good. Kamala Harris is breaking down. She screamed out the F word during an event last week. She is starting to break. She knows that nobody likes her. When was the last time you saw Kamala Harris and Joe Biden together? That's a good question. The last time you saw them together, like out doing anything. Yeah. Kamala, they keep Kamala in a box. They know what an absolute and total cringe fest she is. The Daily Show has also put together this from my favorite TV vice president.
Words have many meanings, and sometimes instead of conveying our meaning, they can suggest other meanings.
When we talk about the children of the community, they are children of the community.
Well, we are the United States of America because we are united. And we are states.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Whatever we have in store cannot be known. The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
Obesity is a serious disease, and it needs to be taken seriously.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
I hope that clarifies the issue, and this can be the last word on those words.
Certain issues are just settled.
Clearly we're not.
No, that's right. And that's why I do believe that we are living, sadly, in real unsettled times.
So Veep is actually real. It was a documentary. It's a really good show, by the way, at HBO. I really, really like the show Veep. There is no better show that actually demonstrates what Washington, D.C. is truly like. As somebody who lived there for 15 years, that demonstrates what it's like. We've added our own laugh track to Kamala Harris because nothing's funnier. No comedy writer could actually write this kind of stuff. We decided to take the Drew Barrymore interview that like we just couldn't. It's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch. We decided to take that interview, add a laugh track, and it suddenly makes more sense. All of Kamala Harris, everything Kamala Harris does is actually everything actually falls perfectly into line with a laugh track if you view it as a 90s sitcom joke. It's really funny. Here we go.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
You were asking me earlier about what it means to be like the first woman. And, you know, it's funny because people still got to get used to this, right? I mean, my staff, for example, sometimes they'll show me little things that just amuse me. Like, apparently, some people love to talk about the way I laugh.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I love your laugh.
Well, let me just tell you something. I have no nervous laugh. And I grew up around a bunch of women in particular who laughed from the belly. They laughed. They would sit around the kitchen and drinking their coffee, telling big stories with big laughs. I'm never going to be, that's just, I'm not that person. And I think it's really important for us to remind each other and our younger ones, don't be confined to other people's perception about what this looks like and how you should act in order to be, right? It's really important. It's important.